Hi, this is Vadim from Lesniak Health, and I'm here today at the Back and Balance group to talk to you about the second installment of a video series in which we will discuss the 4 things that you should quit before you quit smoking, or even decide to quit smoking for that matter. We all know that smoking is bad for us. Yet, when we talk about hypnotherapy, we're always associated with quit smoking. And I always get asked, can you help me with quitting smoking? Although it's not my favorite thing to do, I find that smoking always has a bit of an undertone, something in the background that causes people to smoke to start with. And we're not going to talk about it in this video, but what I do want to talk about is the fact that there are so many other things that we do in our day-to-day life that's supposed to make us feel better. We all know about the bad effects of smoking, about how it's bad for your health, about all the negativity that is associated with it, and the prices and everything. However, we've got so many other good things that we try to do to compensate, such as eating right, going to exercise, trying to walk when we could drive, spending time with family. There's a lot of things that we can do, right, to improve our lives. However, there's 4 things that I feel most of us, if not all, are guilty of, that we tend to do virtually on a daily basis that do prevent us from having that great life that we want to have. The first thing to be aware of that tends to be in the way of our happiness, or supposed to remove that toxicity from our lives, is actually to stop jealousy. Jealousy is quite common in all of us. Every now and then you'll see somebody doing the same thing as you're doing, but they seem to be better at it. And we try to kind of put our own expectations and project it onto the person that we're looking at. And one of the big culprits of jealousy at the moment is the social media. Many of us spend our times with mobile phones looking at Instagrams, Facebook, YouTube. We're looking at those bloggers, people who are doing very well in life. And although some of it could be an act, there's been a recent study in the University of Utah which showed that students who were monitoring or following people on Instagram watching their amazing lifestyles actually felt quite upset and jealous of what these people had and wanted to have that lifestyle. Now, what can we do with jealousy? So in order to stop jealousy, we need to get to the root cause, because sometimes it's us not feeling like we're at the level where we could be or should be, and increasing the expectations that we have from ourselves. One of the ways we can deal with it is through hypnotherapy, and for more information you can contact us. The second thing we should quit is resentment, or that feeling of being upset with someone constantly and holding it on, almost like a grudge. Now, if we look at it as an example, if you have a child come over to your house and they drop something valuable that belongs to you, and it's your child, well, you might be a bit upset, but you will give it a bit of understanding. Now, if somebody comes into your house and maliciously breaks something, that might really, really upset you. Now, I know it's a bit of a generalization. However, we tend to hold on to these things. We tend to hold on to that feeling of upset, and that can actually bother us quite a bit. And, well, there's no easy way about it. We can't treat everybody like children, and we can't just say, oh yeah, well, this thing or that valuable object or that valuable experience that's been ruined, it's okay. We can't all be super positive and decide, oh look, just because this thing is broken or that experience is ruined, it's not going to have any effect on us. So when we are looking at this feeling of resentment, we've got to really break down to what is causing it. Why we're feeling it that way. Is it because we're giving too much expectations to the people who we should not? Is it because we are putting our responsibilities onto others? Is it because it's something within ourselves that's making us, find the wrong people to trust, or to be able to find that middle ground where we can release it in a way, where we can find a way of letting go of it? And again, with this, there's a few ways we can deal with it, but one of the good ones is to actually just kind of looking at your day as a whole and revisiting different experiences and seeing, did it happen because you gave somebody way too much expectation, or you're giving unrealistic expectations to people, or is it because your views are not quite where they should be at? You could work on it with a practitioner. Third point is complaining. Now, every single one of us is guilty of complaining. Sometimes we're just in that mood. Sometimes it's just that type of a day when nothing seems to go your way, and we tend to complain. This is a very common experience and the thing that we all kind of have to come across, with others complaining to us and with us complaining to others. But that also can reflect or leave people feeling quite uncomfortable because you're talking to them about the things that really bother you that they might not feel the same way about. But also complaints can be quite a serious indicator of things that are not right within your life. Complaining can be very addictive. And sometimes you can get stuck in this whole game of complaining, and it does become a bit of a game because you are seeking out a result in which somebody feels sorry for you or gives you that shoulder to lean on, or gives you that feeling of, you know, you're okay, I'm there for you, we will look after you. Or if you don't have that, then it's even better because you might have other people feeling sorry for you. Although it might sound like a great thing, it's not, and it should be stopped. Fourth point is blame. We all tend to blame others, but when we blame others, we also have to be careful of what we do to ourselves. I've seen many people blame others in conversations where you talk about this person did this and this person did that. Now, this is something a lot of people like to do, to discuss others and to blame others for things and to discuss the negatives and the positives that other people have done. However, what I find is those people sometimes tend to do the same when they project it onto themselves. So as well as blaming others for things, they're a lot more harsher on themselves. One of the, I suppose, famous sayings is, we accuse others of what we're capable of ourselves. What that means is, you will actually blame people only for the things that you actually feel close to because they bother you, hence why you feel like discussing them. And those things can be getting out of hand, where a lot of people have nothing to talk about and their friendships or their communication is solely based on those things that they discuss about others. This can backfire. This can also lead to a lot of disappointment. And although we might not really care about what other people think, we do care about how we will be towards ourselves as a result of this. So in order to avoid being harsher on yourself as well as on others, and to actually look at other means of communication, other topics to discuss and converse on. Because I'm sure you're all talented individuals that have amazing things that you can share with others, and there's so much more that you can offer than just sitting there and discussing other people amongst yourselves. And look, yet we're all guilty of it. So how can you stop it? Well, next time you start to discuss someone, just kind of put yourself in their shoes. And I know it's easier said than done, because we always say to ourselves that, oh, look, it's okay because I'm sure they're discussing me. But look at the underlying cause. Why is it that you're blaming them? Why is it that those particular things are bothering you? Is it something that you want to fix in your life? And if so, maybe you do need to speak to someone who can help you with those things. Although there are many different ways of dealing with these particular issues, there are a lot more out there. And there have been many movements, many ways of dealing with it. So some people will tell you to go through the self-help. There was a very famous guy, Will Bowen, who had a lot of publicity for a while when he did the purple bracelet, where you had to wear a bracelet on one arm. And if you went for 21 days without discussing anyone or being jealous of anyone or the other things that I've mentioned, then you'd move it to the next arm. And every time you would either do those things or think about those things, you would move the bracelet. And the idea was to keep it on one hand for 21 days. Many people have failed, many people have tried, but not every one of us have that much time to kind of deal with those things. And we can sometimes feel that we don't need to go to those extremes. If you think that it's not really for you, and you've tried other ways of dealing with it, or you don't think it's a problem, but just some minor things do bother you, it's great to go and speak to someone who's a professional and who can help you in those fields. There are many practices that we can take in order to quit doing those things. Don't expect them to happen overnight. Don't expect the unexpected where you'll wake up a better person. But you will take notice that once you start to be aware of those things, and once you start to know that you're doing them, you can start to become more aware of the things that you say and the thoughts that you think, and try and avoid them. And what you will notice is that your life will actually start to change and mold into a much happier place, less disappointments, less depression, less toxicity in your life, less anxiety, less getting upset. And if you can't manage on your own, contact any of our practitioners and they'll be able to assist you. This is Vadim at Lesnick Health. Please hit like and comment below, or you can send me a message to book an appointment to deal with whatever it is that you're going through and the topics that you want to cover. This is Vadim at Lesnick Health, over and out.